Give the link to the guys, please. Hey, everybody. How are you? Here we are. And this is Non-Farm Friday today. Non-Farm Friday today. So what's happening? Gold and silver are down. Hey, Rooster Cogburn, how are you? We have the dollar weak. So we've got metals down on a weak dollar. We've got Bitcoin that probably needed a little bit of a down leg, but is staying quite high up and hanging at its current level, fairly firm after quite a buoyant up leg. So it's had a buoyant up leg, Bitcoin. And the alts doing the usual stuff, languishing. And it's Non-Farm Friday today. Manuel Bastos, good morning. Nice to see you streaming. Yes, indeed. Thank you, indeed. So what's happening today? We will be doing our non-farm payroll. And we will look in traditional markets. We'll see the US number come in. There's been a direction of dollar weakness going into the back half of this week. So if you're in any FX trades, dollar's been coming off. They've pushed their equity market up on dollar weakness. So it's kind of, that's how it keeps its ground. It's actually not really up if your currency is going down, but it's how you can allow the currency to move, the equities to move up while staying the same. It's kept Bitcoin hanging tough at the 10.5, 10.6, 10.7 level. Hi, Ryan, how are you? 2:20 a.m., Modesto, California. Wow, Rooster, you get up early. Good man. Keep taking the insomniac pills, by the way. Yep. Good man. Good to see you. Anyway, so we're going to be looking at the traditional markets for an hour and a half. We're going to take a half-hour quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to kill crypto. And of that hour and a half on crypto in our Friday, first Friday of the month crypto assessment, we're going to look at Bitcoin and getting to the bottom of it. So here's the story with Bitcoin. It's been in a descending triangle after its long bull move up. Now, descending triangles can pump to the upside. And in fact, it's starting to look more and more like that could be the case because we've gone and had the dollar get weak now. It's been too strong for too long. We were both right and wrong when we had that little squeeze. We said it would go down. It did go down, but it didn't go down any further. At the 10K, 9.8, the mid nines, 9.8, 9.7, 9.6s, it came to a grinding stop and was pushed straight the way back up. So the initial short was closed with no great damage, thankfully, because we also have falling wedges. So in this Bitcoin environment, which while we have a descending triangle, which is essentially that, a flat bottom, the flat bottom is just through the 10K. So you're at about 9.899. So the dip buyers at 9.898 are being shown to be so far so good. Now you got to remember we did have a little bit of that in our 6,000K, 6,500 level, but the difference was we're in a bull market now. While that was, we were still in a bear market looking for a low. So you can break to the upside. So having tested and had a inverted pattern, break, but not go the whole way to target and triple into running into 8.8s and then maybe even further. The rejection there shows that the buyers at the dip levels are strong or still certainly there. Now, is the bearish risk all over for Bitcoin? And this is what we're going to be doing in the non-farm first traditional markets and then the Friday crypto finds, which we'll follow it up with. This is where we'll go into. What makes it possible? So you always got to ask if I'm biasing back bull again now, because as I've said, we've had our bull market Bitcoin. It's come up. Descending triangle is not the best continuation pattern because you can often fall through the floor. Why? Because it keeps coming back down to that floor level. Will we, if we were to reverse from here, how does it be wrong? The now switching to bull bias, how does that play out incorrectly? You sell off really hard from where we are, strong momentum, and you come all the way back down after a third high to that 9.9s, 9.7s, 9.8s level where the dip buyers have been in. And then you grind along there for a lot longer period. And it's a bigger skirmish supporting it. That's how we get to be wrong on that. That's probably going to require the dollar to come out strong. it's non-farm today. And this is the value of what we do, because we do traditional analysis and crypto analysis. So what has to happen for the dollar to be strong? Well, it's been weak all week. Say that quickly after a few tequilas. It's been weak all week. And what ends up happening is if we get a great big number and US is diverging from the rest of the world, we're employing tons of people, never mind the birth-death model, charge, it's a great number, happy days, no need for rate cuts, we're the strength, we will power through this. What recession? There's no recession, charge. Bitcoin, a dollar gets that kind of a strength and starts to go up against the rest of the FX currencies. That will probably see a little bit of strength coming into the yen. That'll see the euro then go back down relative to the dollar, the pound going back down relative to the dollar. If that happens, Bitcoin could probably ease. It's been supported well by the dollar being soft and backing off. So when I talk about Bitcoin, I'm always referring Bitcoin dollar. If I refer Bitcoin euro, I will say euro or pound. Or any other currency. So you want to look at the cryptos against other currencies because there's been a dollar element to it. But how do we be wrong about switching now back towards a bull bias? We would have preferred not to have had a descending triangle as continuation pattern. But you know what? You get what you're given and you trade what you're given. And that's the end of that. You don't get to choose what the market gives you. So often those descending triangles can set up structure that reverses, which is why we were more cautious than everyone else. We're saying, guys, we've had a good run. We can have a macro continuation. To be fair, it's still in the balance. I think after the non-farm number that we get, we'll get a true insight. There may be either a new direction or continuation of existing direction. So Bitcoin could continue up. If it's a weak number, and it looks like rate cuts and devaluation and proliferation of fiat, it's going to be strong for Bitcoin against the dollar, and it could reassert up. So we want to watch how it behaves. So actually, understanding the other markets is pretty damn useful for trading the crypto markets. I've said other things that people don't like. And the thing I say that people don't like is that Bitcoin is a bull market. For me, alts are actually not a bull market. They're not proven strong enough to be a bull market. If you look at anything that excludes Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's such a giant, it's the elephant in the room. You know, you've got to remember when we started this, it was in 40s, Bitcoin dominance. It's now in the 70s, and it could go in the 80s. And as I've said before, there's a lot of fake market cap puffery in a lot of coins that actually you've had nothing more than a rally for now. If you haven't taken the 23.7% on from your high down to your low on a fib. So you're throwing a Fibonacci from the 100%, sorry, is on the top end of the alt market cap, which is total 2 on TradingView. While you're watching this, if you've got a free hand, type in total 2, you throw your fib 100% top to the bottom. That is nothing more than a rally in a bear market that you've got. Ethereum soft, Ripple soft. Those are the next two biggest. Bitcoin Cash, unimpressive. Then you've got Litecoin normally at number 4. Tether is actually right up there at number 5. And then you've got, the likes of Binance Coin, which are probably the least bad. This is not an alt cap bull market, guys. That is why Bitcoin is driving everything. So this tells me institutions, because they require liquidity and they require less risk. The retail guy that was in the boom and the subsequent bear, they got murdered. Guys would have gone with 10 Bitcoin in the bull market. They would have 1 Bitcoin left, trading long, leveraged, or a fraction of 1 Bitcoin. That's what I think that's happened. This is new institutional money. They're shaking out the kids, and that's what I think is happening. And the kids are going and hiding in the alts, waiting for them to run, and they're being disappointed. Anyway, let's have a look at some of your comments. By the way, link down below for this non-farm, hour-and-a-half assessment of the traditional markets. Watch the non-farm number in, see what direction the market takes. Hour-and-a-half assessment, Bitcoin, crypto, and all the alts. I am short Ripple, but I would contemplate going long Bitcoin if it proves that it takes the direction. Again, I'm talking about leverage trading. There's also investment. It's a separate category. So I'm in super macro level back of investment long on Bitcoin coin, but that doesn't mean it's a leverage trade just yet. As I've said, it can still change. A flat bottomed descending triangle is not a comfy continuation pattern to be in, guys. It can come back down real hard a third time, and then it could grind and then sell off. Let's see what you guys are saying. Silver smash, they said, yes, it made all its targets. We said to you, you're going to run the 18s, and it went the 19s. It's made targets now. Of course, it's got a rest. And this is a silver smash, additionally important point, in a weak dollar environment. Silver smash in a weak dollar environment. And remember, silver kind of seemed to be the one pulling up Bitcoin. They were kind of going up together. Another reason just to be a little bit careful. And when the gold and silver was going up and Bitcoin wasn't responding, I was saying, what's up with Bitcoin that is not responding? And then it was late. It did respond, but it responded late. I was saying, is this a sign of weakness? It came eventually, and then it was late. Then it kept going. So is it going to respond late to the silver sell-off and the metals calming down now? I don't know. There'll be the usual conspiracy theories about silver, etc. There will have been a lot of leverage money going into silver. Silver is high beta, guys. Silver is high beta. Do I have a Facebook account? Regrettably so, we do. We also have a business one. Rather go to the Market Sniper Facebook account, by the way. So if you search for the Market Sniper, you'll find it. That's where all the stuff about trading is. What else have we got for you? If you're a financial instrument, I'd be long with leverage, but with a tight stop, just in case. Says FIC088. Yes, always keep it tight. Antonio, today we watch you from Amsterdam. Let's get to the bottom of it. Indeed, come and join us on trading day, Antonio. The links are there. Trader Chris, you were wrong. I don't know what he's talking about, but apparently I should shut up. What about Silver Smash? We've covered that. They kicked the can too long. D2O signing in. Good day, Francis. Only 9 likes. Only 9 likes. Please, gentlemen, 132 of you on board. Come on, give us a shout out. Give us a shout out. So for all those that want to say you were wrong, Bitcoin, yay, boo, no. Everyone was long. Retail was long Bitcoin, and you had a flat bottomed descending triangle after a bull move. It's quite normal to say, actually, in those circumstances, the majority are often wrong, and you'd probably sell off. And initially it did sell off, but it didn't follow through to the 8.8s, and it didn't follow through to the 6,999s. Not in this instance. It can still do that. So if you're saying you're wrong for now. We are. It can still come down hard from where it is on a good non-farm and revisit the 9.9s and then spill. And then the prediction is still accurate. It's just late or early. My apologies. And the break is late. So the overall structure of a descending triangle after a bull move can be deceptive. Remember, there's a difference between a descending triangle and a falling wedge. If it was the entire structure was a falling wedge, it's typically continuation. What I will say, though, is in that descending triangle, and this is what got us out, thankfully, nice and quickly without too much damage, is you had a falling wedge from the first high, the ultimate high, down to the flat bottom. You had a secondary falling wedge that inside our sell-off broke down and then came to the wedge, rallied back up to the wedge, and then broke out of it. So as soon as we saw it coming up to the right side of the wedge, we said it's not going to continue. So that's fine. Cool shirt. It is indeed. Thank you. What's long entry for BTC 400X? Simple auto. Yes, that's the question we will answer for you. How high is the probability that silver corrects to $16? The probability it corrects to 16. I haven't looked at downside. You've got a bit of structure that's set up a wind up to push you up to the 19s and a halves, and you've come all the way back down to that same level. So it could support now, have a bit of a rally and give you a right shoulder, and then maybe it will go further down. So if you're caught long, you might not want to panic sell now at these levels. you might get a little bit of a rally. But the value of a target is you take money off and you don't FOMO back in when you see it goes a little bit higher, and then wear the whole down leg when it corrects. Remember, whatever happens to silver broadly, it'll be a correction in a bull market. Precious metals are in a bull market. Go look at your silver gold ratio. It fell out of a falling wedge. EOS alts are in trouble. Alts are in trouble. So EOS is not going to be good news for you, Sasha, in my opinion. If the best thing for EOS is Bitcoin pumps out of this level that it is to the upside, which, as I've already explained, is a descending triangle, which is a little bit more of a mixed message. And if it pumps out of that, it will drag the alts a little bit of the way up, but it's going to do the most of the growth. In other words, it feels like institutions getting into the safest coin. Alts are not getting love. There's too much Me Too about them. Gold didn't go up as much. The golden pills reminds us that the XAG is 82.9 and moving upwards. So its high point was 93.5. So out of every rising wedge that you break to the downside, you get a snapback rally to the rising wedge return move before it then reasserts downside. So silver is a bull. Right now, it's spilling like a dog. Silver is a bull. Macro view. So you've got to understand in trends, you have the macro trend, you have secondary, and you even have minor. And you have to understand that the big macro is a green light. And within that, you'll have counter trends that are red lights. Doesn't matter. As soon as it starts basing out on the secondary time frame and starts getting long again, you'll start to have 3 green lights again. That's when you want to be long again. Your style of delivery is awesome, says Suresh. Thank you. I'm glad. Good morning from Birmingham. Yes, no, good old Brumby land. Well, lovely out there. Francis, if this is a falling wedge, where would you put support again? Believe this will be the last time we see sub 10. Antonio, we will go into that in far greater level with the charts in the non-farm if you're interested to go through it. But just to give you a quick answer, the one thing we can say about the descending triangle that's been in existence is that all the up legs have been quite violently strong and all the down legs have drifted off in falling wedges. So throughout the period so far, if that maintains like that, then it's underlyingly bullish for me. Especially after the little fractal that it created to the downside broke and didn't continue beyond the key support level. So you've supported that level a number of times. So I'm generally uncomfortable with a descending triangle, but for now it's held. So as I've said before, if nothing comes out of the non-farm that spooks it strongly to the downside, where it then back low and basing on that low and doing like a bear flag, that would worry me. Then we could go bear. But I'm not sure that what happens on the non-farm today is going to do enough or anything in the short term. So it could be biasing back bull. The assumption that you're going to make a new high, though, can't be made. So there's a lot of people that just keep saying the same thing. Bitcoin only does bottoming out, pump, trend, parabolic, bear trend, basing out, trend, parabolic new high, down, bear trend, parabolic new high. When it becomes a better and a more mature market and there's more institutional money, which I think is what's getting in right now, and the retail guy are less binary existence where it's either pump, bull, FOMO in, crash, bear, FOMO out, that binary type up, down, staircasing up will end. Charts do not have to keep repeating the exact same structure of how they go up. They can set up longer term continuation patterns. And this is the key point that I meant. Yeah, Frank says HVF method works. He's right. Sangolis says, hi, girls. Indeed. Hi to all the girls. We have so many men. Let's say hi to the girls. Any alts you would buy at current price levels? Don't buy the alts, Omar. Don't buy the alts until it's clear that trends end. I've just finished recording core content on continuation, trade continuation. Everybody wants to call the top or the bottom. Why? Because you get sent to brokers and they teach you double tops, double bottoms, head and shoulders, and throw indicators at you like RSI, which give you overbought and oversold. and everyone wants to sell the overbought, buy the oversold. They're all designed to get you trading counter trend. Learn to trade continuation. That's why we were right when Bitcoin had 6.5 and it was a bear trend. We called that strong bear, and we got $3,000 plus to the downside on a short that gave us 2.5 times the Bitcoin on the way back up. This is different environment now, this descending triangle. That's why it's ambiguous. We are in a bull trend for Bitcoin, but we're not in a bull trend for crypto as a whole, only because of Bitcoin. If you exclude Bitcoin, we are actually still in a low bear with a rally, a weak rally that hasn't got out of the 23.7%, bar one or two coins. If you look at all of them, they're weak. It's a limp effort. You've got the dollar dying right now. You've got a global economic crisis, recession, trade wars, etc. You've got silver and gold going up, and that's what the alts are doing right now. You were up here at 100%, you're 0% here, and you're sitting at about 15% as a rally. It's not ready. It's not ready to go. It's still in a bear. If that's how it behaves with all the things in its favor, how's it going to behave when all the things turn against it? There isn't even bad news from the SEC or tax and this. There's nothing new. There's nothing new to spook you. There's no Bitfinex scares. There's nothing. There's nothing bad, and there's only good. And the real world is falling apart. Just like we've said, we're in the reset. It's happening. And that's what the alts do. Stay out. There's no love there. Stay in Bitcoin. Do I think gold will revisit 1,400 to buy more? I said 1,350 won't be seen again. That was pushing the boat. Sometimes you get your breakout line revisited, but I don't think it'll be significantly run. Hi from San Francisco. Nice to see you. I don't use harmonics. I went and studied Gartley's, Bats, Cypher, everything. I studied everything about it. I paid a lot for courses. Couldn't get them to work. Patterns kept contradicting each other. You would be inside a bullish butterfly or a bearish butterfly, and then you'd have a bullish or a bearish bat, and I couldn't, what do you do? And stop placement and miles apart. You've got to have risk reward. You've got to have a tight stop with an expansive reward. That's what you need to be successful in the markets. How do you think non-farm payroll will affect the dollar today? Preferably your take on USD JPY. Sir, thank you for coming through for us, man. Connected from South Africa. Brian Sequele. How are you, Brian? Stay safe there. Stay out of all the looting and all that good stuff. Be strong. Hope to see you. We'll pass by RSA side. So to answer your question, Brian, the non-farm payroll, I have no better idea what number they're going to throw out in the next man. I wouldn't even hazard having a guess. I think the dollar's in a weak state right now, and it's I'd need to look at the dollar index going into this. This is part of what we'll do before we start the non-farm payrolls. But the link is there. Come and join us. You'll get the full join if you can do that. But my assessment is probably more dollar weakness. So I think it's going to be underlyingly firming. If I were forced to guess, I think a bit of a limp number, but maybe not that limp that it's going to cause lots of rate cuts immediately. I think they need to do some rate cuts. Fast money will always come back to alts. It may, but it's not showing that it's about to do that. And the people in there have been dying for a while. If this is a falling, it's a wedge, not an edge, by the way. You believe it might be the final time we see 10K. It's possible. It's possible. We are kind of teetering at the point we said, 10, 8, 11K on a rally. And that's got a lot of resistance, the 11K. I start to feel it's getting away once it's on the other side of the 11K level. This is the kind of level where it might turn back. Hi from Rome, Robin Claricchi. Nice to have people from Rome with us, Italians and or otherwise. Will BTC fill the CME futures gaps? Remember, the futures trade certain hours. So often gaps are just due to time. BTC is itself a 24/7 market. So gaps can be artificially created by the fact that the exchanges are closed. What's your thoughts on gold? I'm a bit late. You might get a chance. You might be buy the dips. It's a bull market. But personally, I would go miners now, and as the miners will start to come alive, and silver over gold, and silver is selling off hard. Yeah, that's right. Sunny Decree called you. Sunny Decree called me a scammer. I have no idea who anyone called Sunny is. Good luck to him. Negative rates in Europe. Negative rates in Europe are terrible. So Bitcoin doesn't charge you money, and gold doesn't charge you money for you to hold it. So that's it. Isn't the dollar strengthening and the rest of the currencies dying? Not this last week. Not this last week. It has been broadly, but not this last week. Do you think gold will revisit? Yes, covered that. Do you think Bitcoin will go 1 million? You see, the super macro calls like that, that's kind of people who want attention, and I intentionally avoid that. Those are people who want to be headline guys. It's a pissing contest. Who can throw out the largest number? So you'll have Max Kaiser who will say 30,000 by the end of the month, and then McAfee will come out and say 1 million by the end of next year. And then Nova Gratz will come out and say 10 million by the beginning of the next decade. And I can come out and say 1 trillion by the time the moon passes by, the Saturn, whatever. Yeah, it's a stupid game. Right here and now, long run, the super macro for Bitcoin is a bull. That's a fact. It's a bull. I've just done the chart. So September 2012, we've just been recording key content for all over again. Literally was wearing the same shirt. We got the same lights on. I've literally said, let's go live. We've done doing some recording for redoing our self-study program for all our premium guys. And the theme is trends persist. 2012, September, Bitcoin, $2.26. September 2019, 10,553. Generally, you want to be more often long, and you must be very, very, very sure if you want to go short. And often shorts will fail, as we've just personally given evidence to as well. We went short and we never made any money on it. So generally, you want to be careful about that. But sometimes the structure does require it on a medium time frame, and we did it during the bear market as well, when everyone else got washed out. This is what I fear has happened. People that used to have a lot of Bitcoin don't have it anymore, the retail guys. They got murdered trading with leverage. You just give guys leverage and you take all their money off them. That's generally the rule. That's generally the rule. You give unsophisticated people leverage, and they will give you all their wealth. You can legally steal from them. There's a number of ways the system steals from you guys. You've got to understand this. Compound interest is one. Put you on the wrong side of an tertiary equation, they steal from you slowly. Convince you can be a trader, give you leverage, and they steal your money quickly. It's quite simple. So they can get the retail market to create and get a little bit of wealth for a while, in the Bitcoin, and go start it as the liberty-seeking early adopters and put up with all the crap while they do their testing and fixing it. And when they want their new money back, not that I'm saying that Bitcoin is theirs and the central banks won't come out with their own, they just hand you leverage. The more leverage, the faster you'll give it back to them. That's why if you want to be a trader, you need to really, really have method. And even still, you will get things wrong, as you saw that we did with that. But as I say, when I say wrong, we're not entirely, it's not over yet. We still could be bear, but I would say now we're biased bull. And we're unemotional about that. We're fine to change views. We're biased bull because we're in a dollar weak environment and Bitcoin is holding its level. But I kind of would prefer to see it push through 1100, remain quite strong bullish, and then to have a nice soft, another falling wedge drift down over a number of days, bore most people to death till people start posting, oh, I'm waiting, it's like watching paint dry. That's when I know it's time to really jump in long. Low volatility, slow drift off, then you jump in long. Then we've dealt with this awkward descending triangle. When you have a descending triangle and you're at the 61.8%, we did the right thing to say, careful, there's a chance this could be going down. It might even be the bigger chance. the fact, whatever transpired here, every time in that situation, I will say the same, and I'll be wrong 4.5 times out of 10. And I'll be right 5.5 times, and the other one, it will be largely right, but it won't make a target. It'll grind around, pull off a little bit, do nothing of either. That's it. So it's a probability-based game. It is a probability-based game. Guys, I want to assume at 61.8 that a descending triangle is automatically going to be upside continuation. We'll probably get hit every now and then, more often than they realize. I won ETH and EOS. Please shill my bags. Yes. Okay, mate. Is BSV a scam? Couldn't answer that. It seems lots of things coming out on Craig Wright. I don't know what to make of him. And generally, I don't know. So I can't volunteer an opinion. Yes, not in the short for 6,000. We shorted at on the low. It broke. We went into money. It then started grinding up. It came to the wedge. We closed it as it was starting to get impulsive at the wedge. It actually, I got out at 9 9s and 9 6s. So when things don't continue, so it didn't hurt me that much at all. In fact, on some of the entries, I made some profit, but it was clear that it was not progressing. And we knew that the 10,000, that sub level was a key level because we've got that flat bottom. So if it's not going to break it, it's going to support on it. So you've got to be quick to cover. So we didn't hang around, but it wasn't a success like as in going for target success anyway. And obviously since then it's gone a lot higher. And I even put a small little long and got a tiny bit, but I'm largely been square. I'm waiting for it to confirm. It's done everything. Bitcoin has done everything it could do to be ambiguous according to how we assess it. It's quite ambiguous. You run a 61.8, you set up a descending triangle. That's quite bearish because you're selling, your highs are descending and you're kind of holding a line. So all the pressure is on the floor. You're looking for a trapdoor and you're holding the floor. But each time within that, each time you come off the floor, you've been repelled quite strongly. But initially, but you haven't been repelled as far. There's been no follow through. So the pump moves are strong, but they don't go as far. First to 13.9, then to low 13s, then to 11 whatevers, and now you're running up and you haven't made 11. So that's it. What kind of idiot keeps showing up and going, you were wrong, shut the F up? I just got to ask that. Do me a favor, Alex, just to kick that guy out and block him. We got some complete clowns in here. Let's see. You haven't got a clue. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Get him, kick him out, block him from the channel, please, Alex. What else have we got? Quantum will take 90 years to break its first Bitcoin. What was that? NSA working to develop quantum-resistant cryptocurrency, says Matter. That's interesting. I think I've heard a little bit about that. Whoops. Have I done something stupid? I was clicking by the chats, trying to read the chats, and now I've bumped out. I've lost my chats with you guys. I'm hoping you can still hear me. And yeah, so I've lost the chats. So anyway, if you want to find out more, I'll do a breakdown. We'll go right into it on crypto. Non-farm link below. We will do the traditional markets. We will look at equities. We will watch the number come in. We'll see the FX. We'll have a look at the dollar exchange. And we will keep going into all of that. And then we'll flip over and we'll do a proper Bitcoin analysis. We'll do volume by price. We'll do quite a lot. We'll work out the levels. We'll see how well supported it is from there. We'll see how it reacts to the non-farm number. And we'll affirm what our bias is for the market. And we'll go forward for there. Without further ado, thank you, guys. You want to join us? The links are below. This is just a quick check-in. We'll see. Whatever the key thing we can say for Bitcoin, because this is Crypto Sniper channel, and this is what I want to talk about, is there's been compression occurring. Most of the compression has been across the top. That usually means a highly impulsive move is coming. Right now, we've moved from bias bear potential to wait and see to slight mild bias bull. But if it sells off really hard and takes back equally fast to the down level, it once again opens up the bear scenario. If it holds these levels and just drifts casually after the non-farm number and just has a relax and goes really low volatility is a precursor to upside moves. If it gets cranky and a bit skittish and is selling off and comes deep flat again, that's more of a problem, and you have to look again at bear bias. We'll look at the structure if that is to happen. But that's a big ask right now in a weak dollar environment, hence the mild bias back to bull now. That's where we will see. But descending triangles at a 61.8. It's a brave man that keeps calling it always an upside move. Okay, with that, I love you and leave you. We'll see you on non-farm. Come and join us. And you'll get traditional markets. You'll get the links immediately. You'll get the full assessment. You'll be able to ask specific questions, and I will answer all of them with you in that. And you'll get a feel. You'll be able to mingle with our community members. Bye now, guys. Thanks for coming on to the stream. Truly grateful. And as always, if you want to buy precious metals, there's a link below. If you want to trade FX with 100 times margin, there's also a link below. And yet you can still have a very reliable European country behind you. And if you want to join non-farm, the link is also below. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll catch you up. And after this weekend, I think we'll have a real insight on how things are lying, and after the non-farm as well, particularly. Okay, bye for now. There's no end button on it. Can't find it because I clicked on the chat and it took me in here. Hit pause. Hit pause. So stupid. Just close the browser.